the Huge Movie Fanatics here to give you a follow-up review, kind of. We did the Friday the 13th franchise last time we met, and we ended that with Freddy vs. Jason review. So why don't, it seems only fitting
well,
that
we ended
now,
it with the Friday the 13th reboot review.
Well, I mean, like,
yeah.
It seems only fitting that we we start with the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. So we are going to cut through these like they cut through our souls. So let's start with A Nightmare on Elm Street. This is a movie that is actually one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
Wow.
I really like it. I saw it for the first time when I was in 6th grade, 1999. And
hey, you pretty much saw it kind of around like with your age when I did, you know?
Yeah.
Same kind of basic age.
Yeah. And it was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying for a young person. And this was after, like, how many years? 15 years of it existing. It still actually kind of held up for the most part. And, you know, I just love this movie. Wes Craven has a head on his shoulders, and he knows how to really knock it out of the park. There are problems with the movie, logic problems, but they're sort of somewhat excusable because the mom is really drunk. It's like, why would she lock the house, like, or put bars on the window? But I mean, like, that is so stupid. But
well, it's great
like,
if you have a drunk character because that,
yeah, you can kind of get away with it.
It's like having no continuity in dream sequences. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but there's so many like great things in here to like. I mean, Johnny Depp's first movie,
oh.
you have to give it for that. Heather Langenkamp actually made a really good heroine.
God damn.
I really wish she would have been more prevalent as an actress, because she's actually pretty good, especially in this movie.
Did she do? What? Just 2 movies? What did she do? Any other movies at all?
Yeah, she's done a bunch of movies.
Oh, she has.
And TV and stuff,
oh.
but she hasn't really done mainstream movies outside of Nightmare 1, 3, and 7. Robert Englund's Freddy Krueger was iconic, and they used him right in this movie. He spoke, he had a character, but he was minimal in that execution of that character. He was there, but he wasn't. And when he spoke terrifying dialogue, just like, I'm gonna rip you in two, and things like that. Like, that is just like kind of, I find that much more frightening than the silent killer who just walks up behind you and like slits your throat or something like that. Having reviewed the Friday the 13th movies, they're on Netflix. I've been watching some of them here and there, and
since we reviewed them?
Yeah, since we reviewed them.
Way to go, man.
I definitively say I like the speaking killer, but this one, Freddy is chilling in the first movie. He is absolutely chilling, and his makeup is just pitch perfect. The whole idea and of it is just scary, because everybody has to dream. Not everybody goes camping. Not everybody has a brother who's a serial killer, like in Halloween or whatever. But everybody has to sleep, and everybody's had a nightmare, and everybody sort of has that fear that, like, what if I don't wake up from this kind of thing?
And actually, the whole movie was based on something he read.
Yeah, it's all based on a real experience of a bunch of Indonesian kids who were having nightmares and dying in their sleep. Who escaped their country, and like that's really great. And the idea for Freddy Krueger comes from the fact that when he was a little kid, he saw this like homeless man who had a severely burned face outside of his house, and the guy looked up at him and kind of gave him a creepy smile, and it terrified him for years until he was an adult. And he's like, that was the scariest thing I ever saw. I'm gonna have this character look like that. And he's this hands down the scariest looking of all the characters, especially in that first movie. Of all the serial killers, he's the scariest looking one. I think he's the scariest one in general. Movie's like so well made, well crafted, and very smart. It has like little scenes where like the mom is always putting her daughter to sleep until the end of the movie, when the daughter has to put the mom to sleep with her bottle and everything. And like just like little things like that are very Wes Craven, like the characters in a Wes Craven movie are always smart, and I like that. Even the ones who get killed are actually smart people for the most part. They just, like, they did fall into the boozing and sleeping together, so they'll get killed. Stereotype that Scream sort of picks apart. But this is a great movie. I'm going to give it 3.5. Really love this movie. It's pass it off to you. What do you have to say?
Yeah, I first saw this probably pretty much the same age during my discovering of horror movies, time. And both 1 and 2 were on TV, and they were on channel 23 back in the day, and they weren't. I don't think they were cut. The only thing that they did is they bleeped the swear words. I don't think they cut any of it, which was really weird.
It's kind of strange, yeah.
The good old days, and so I taped them, and I love this stuff. And we're talking about 1, and back in the day when the movies, do you have the Blu-ray of this yet? Because I told you.
No, not yet.
It looks
but
like,
I'm going
it
to.
looks amazing.
Maybe I'll pick that up today. Anyway, keep going.
Pick it up today, and because the Blu-ray looks amazing. What I was getting at is back in the old days, transfers were so dark and murky, and this movie, a lot of the dream stuff is dark and murky. It was hard as a kid to even really necessarily understand sometimes what you're seeing. Like when I look at it now, I remember seeing lots of stuff like that girl in the body bag when she's standing up, and she's actually got her hand on the inside of the bag and it slides down. When I was a kid, I thought that was like intestines slowly sliding out of her. So it made it more gross because of my imagination. So things like that when you're a kid, it's like lines you hear, what you hear wrong, or things you see, what you see wrong, make it kind of even more gross than it was.
Well, and also you see the snakes coming out of the
I
body
think
bag
that's
at the
why
end,
too,
where it also, because I thought that was intestines,
Yeah,
because I saw this after Scream, and there was that shot of
that's right.
Steve with his intestines hanging out, so I was like, he has a thing with grossing me out with intestines, apparently.
Yeah, so I mean, this is just classic, and then this is what Freddy belongs as, which is the not the wisecracking scene in full daylight kind of superhero they would end up making him be later on,
Which Craven hates.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
He just listen to him in interviews. He's just like, oh,
but the guy in the shadows, the one who every line is something that's horrifying, or it's like, this is God.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Go ahead.
For years and years, they always try to compile, the AFI compiles a list of the scariest, or the best movie villains of all time, and Darth Vader's inevitably always number one, interchangeably with, Hannibal Lecter. But always, within the top 5 on that list is Freddy Krueger. For that first movie alone, it has to be, because he is just so great as a villain. Because there's nothing remotely likable. It's the first time they didn't give you an ounce of humanity. They tried to make you feel sympathetic to Jason. They tried to make you feel sympathetic to Michael Myers. Well, he just didn't know any better. He was a little boy, and he grew up killing people. And you try to feel sympathy for these characters when Craven's mission statement with all of his serial killers in all of his movies, be it Krug in Last House on the Left, Freddy in this, or any of the killers in the Scream franchises. Why don't we point out to the fact that these people are evil because they're evil? Let's not blame the movies, let's not blame outside sources or bad childhood. These people are fucked up because they're fucked up, and this guy is a pedophile murderer who, he gets punished for it, and so he's gonna dish out the punishment afterwards.
In the first one, do they say that? I mean,
it's implied. It was implied, but they didn't say it because the studio asked him to take it out.
Oh,
but that
so
was
that
was part of the lore, and Craven said that he did wish he had kept some of those lines in. They did film some of them. If you ever, in 1989, I have this too, they released a super box set VHS 2-pack.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And it has over an hour of deleted scenes or alternate takes and stuff.
Are you talking about DVD?
No, VHS.
Oh, because I got the DVD. 1989?
In 1989 they released this, and I bought it at Suncoast for $40.
Is that bad?
It's a lot of money for a VHS at the time when Blu-ray was beginning to come out. This was.
You mean DVD?
No, Blu-ray was beginning to be announced. This was 2005
so
that I bought this at Mall of America. At Mall of America, and they had it, and it broke my heart because 2 weeks later they announced that they were closing at Mall of America, and all their stuff is going to 40% off, and I was like, mother. But anyway, I bought this thing because I'm a fan of the franchise, and I watched it, and some of the stuff that Craven deleted, probably rightfully so, was all 5 of the kids in the movie had brothers and sisters that were murdered by Freddy, which is why he attacks them specifically, which gives a reason for him to attack them specifically. But it's like, how did none of them remember like that they had whatever happened to little Stacy? You know, like, but so like little things like that I don't like. But they did give a little more backstory to Freddy that made him sound more disturbing than he was even as described in the first movie. And yeah, I mean I really liked the first movie, and I like that he is just evil and evil. Like there's no,
That's all
there's no human to him. I'm not supposed to feel sympathetic for him, which is weird that in the sequels they make you feel like root for this pedophile. Like Craven says, that, like he's like, I always find it strange when little kids are dressed up like like Freddy for Halloween, and he's like, I mean, he's like, some part of me finds it satisfying, but another part of me is like, this dude would have killed this little kid and probably raped him back in the day. Like, do they have no concept of what they're wearing on Halloween? But yeah.
Well, the whole pedophile aspect was not really.
It wasn't explored until the most recent one.
I didn't know anything about it until the remake, which maybe we'll get to today.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go 4 knives. 4 stars. I'm gonna go 4 fingers with blades on them. 4 stars for Nightmare on Elm Street. It's just classic, amazing. I'm surprised actually you didn't go 4 stars.
The only
What is the
reason that I noticed, because like as I said, the few little tiny logic problems, and also the Sheriff Burke from Scream. Actually, he's not playing Sheriff Burke in this, but it's the same actor. He irritates the balls out of me when Freddy's in the house attacking Nancy.
Oh, and he's like,
and then he's like,
yeah,
maybe I should call the lieutenant. Like, and I know it's supposed to be funny and ironic, but like the whole movie is played seriously up until that point, and it's like, yeah, that's funny, but we didn't need that there. Ramp up the tension, like have them try to get into the house, but it's locked, kind of thing, instead of having the dude be like, everything's going to be all right. Like it was just so little things like that kind of did bug me.
Yeah.
But I think the kills in this movie are the most creative. My favorite Freddy kill ever was Johnny Depp's. Just getting sucked into the bed and the tornado of blood is fantastic. My second favorite kill of the Freddy franchise he's done twice, which is dragging Tina along the wall, the ceiling, getting cut and then dropping and then the blood splatter. So amazing. And I liked Rod's death too with the broken neck thing. But the thing that I liked in this movie is that it wasn't like kill after kill after kill after kill after kill like almost every horror franchise.
Well,
even the Scream
happen to
movies
service the story.
Yeah, even the Scream movies eventually become kill by number 2. Whereas this one, it wasn't. It was all the characters were vital to the story. Every scene moved something further across, and it's like, it probably is a 4-star movie, but I give it 3.5.
Just because of that sheriff.
the sheriff. I'm sorry, I can't do it. But and also the really poor acting by Glenn's parents. Like I can't remember. They really pronounce the whats in there.
That one, the dad.
The dad. My God, he is so what? Well, what's this about? What's this about, Nancy? Hold on. And, like, it's just so bad.
I think in that sequence, I think you can hear birds tweeting because they might. I think you can because they might have shot it during the day.
Right. And then the very last thing I don't like about the movie was the pulling through the mud. And that was a studio.
What was the original?
The original ending was she just got into the car, the thing came down, and it had the stripes, and they drove away. In the script, it was just a happy morning. She woke up, and then she was freed of her victory. But Rob Shea was like, there has to be a button, and so Craven came up with 3. The first one was just the top came down. The second one was the top came down and Freddy was driving. And the third one was the top came down and the mom was sucked through the window. And that's the only thing I don't like about the movie. Because you finally defeat this all-powerful villain and he's not defeated.
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah, that bugs me. But that's a studio thing, that's not a Wes thing. If Wes had made the movie he wanted to make, this would be 4 stars. But
yeah, I go 4 stars, 4 knives. Heather Langenkamp is just amazing and what's great about that back in the day is now, of course, as we see in the remake, it's all about just gorgeosity. And what's great about Heather Langenkamp.
I thought she was better looking
Well,
than Rooney Mara.
well, the thing is though, is she's you know, she's not like a stick. You know, she was a little. She's just like a normal girl, and she got a great face, but I mean, it's just an everyday thing about her, and that's what I loved about the movies back then, is that it was just, I mean, she was really great looking, but in a girl next door everyday person way. And you really, when someone's more real like that, for me, you really bond much more than you would with some bimbo, blonde, model, bombshell bitch. So in order to save time, I'm going to say 4 stars. There's so much to say. It's amazing. The atmosphere is great. You know, classic John Saxon, and great kills, great music.
Yeah, great music. 4 stars, and 3.5 for me. West really knocked it out of the park. Too bad he didn't keep on with. Well, too bad it just didn't end. It should have ended. Let's just put it that way.
What do you mean?
The franchise.
Should this have been the only movie?
I think this should have been the only movie, and it shouldn't have had that. And the little cat.
In a perfect world.
Yeah, in a perfect world. But anyway, coming up Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 2.
All right, happy, pleasant dreams. Eh.